Hello, listeners. This is Jesse.
And this is Greg.
And you're listening to Spoilers Are Good, Actually, the podcast where we revisit some of our old favorite shows and talk about how knowing the ending affects our experience the second time through.
Today we're watching Avatar: The Last Airbender, Book 1, Chapters 19 and 20, The Siege of the North, Parts 1 and 2. The way this podcast works is there's a non-spoiler section and a spoiler section. The non-spoiler section assumes that you've watched all of the show up until today, which would be all of Season 1 now, and nothing else. The spoiler section assumes that you've watched all of Avatar: The Last Airbender, The Legend of Korra, and maybe even you've looked at some of the spin-offs like the comics or anything else, any of the supplementary material. We encourage listeners to stay all the way through, listen to both the spoiler and the non-spoiler section, but if you have a problem with spoilers, this is your warning now. You'll get a little musical break when we finish the non-spoiler section. You'll have a good time, don't worry.
Great. And one quick content note. Avatar: The Last Airbender is a kids show, but this is not a kids podcast. While we won't be going into any more mature or adult themes than the show itself does, we will be using adult language, so listener, be warned.
We made it to the finale.
The finale. It's a two-parter. It's going to be super long. Mm-hmm. Very excited. And if it wasn't already a special enough episode, we also have a special guest. Today we have with us friend of the pod, Emmy. And she's visiting for a while, and so she decided to watch the episode with us. Mm-hmm. Emmy, would you like to introduce yourself?
You're going to have to put that womp womp in there, please. Dude, you got to make the noise.
I would like you to keep my mouth sounds in there.
Okay, well, we'll do yours the first time and then add another
No,
one.
I want you to insert Jess from Taskmaster doing the sound of a party. Anyways, yes, hello! I am friend of the pod, Emmy. I am not quite as familiar with Avatar and the surrounding universe as Greg and Jesse are, but I have watched it a couple times. Love it a lot. Excited to talk about it.
Yeah.
Also, side note, we are all three crowded around one microphone, so if you hear any more bumps or audio issues than usual, or someone's kind of quiet,
it's my
that's
fault.
why.
Yeah,
No.
it's because of Emmy. Blame her.
No, yeah.
Just letting you know, that is something that you may notice, because this is a little home studio podcast with one blue snowball.
Man, yeah, I love this finale is very fun. It's very good. It's a huge culmination of a lot of the big things that are going on. We get to see, Zhao's final gambit. We see Zuko being Zuko. I don't know. I love this finale. They did a lot of really cool things with the color and lighting, so I'm really excited to talk about it.
Well, since it's going to be long, let's just jump right into the 10-word summary.
Oh, I thought we were doing a 20-word summary.
Oh, did you do 20
I
words?
did a 20-word summary.
I wrote 10.
Why? Didn't we say... I thought...
We debated, and you said maybe a 20-word.
Oh.
So I wanted to see if I could do it in 10, and I did, so I stuck with that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I also just did 10 words for both, but 20 is also... We did talk about it. I can go ahead and go first, because I don't think mine's anything exceptional. Mm-hmm. I decided to throw back to my 10-word summary last episode with Zuko almost fucking dies.
Again.
And Tui and Law fuck shit up.
I like it. Should I go next?
You should go next. I have a 20-word. So
Okay, mine is a little bit different in format. Let's see how I do this. Haven't really practiced it. Okay. Katara, Zhao, Zuko, Iroh motions, spirits, oh shit, balance, revenge.
Wait.
Beautiful. Applause.
Is oh shit 2 words or 1?
I went back and forth. I think it's 2. Yes, it's 2.
Okay.
Okay.
And then my 20-word summary is Zuko has a hypothermic adventure, Sokka's girlfriend turns into the moon, Aang kills a lot of people, and Zhao dies.
You do
Beautiful.
such a good job of making them coherent.
Yeah, you write full sentences. I'm like, oh god, I have to describe as much as possible in as few words. Mm-hmm. And it...
Yeah.
Yep.
I just didn't even attempt coherency.
That's good.
Gracious.
That's a good strategy.
There's a
It
lot of
worked well, I
reactions that
think.
work great.
Boy. So there's a lot to talk about. Where do we want to start? Do we want to just go like as chronologically as we can?
I mean, we can start off with...
Good way to start, I think.
Yeah. The first thing that we see is, like, Qatar and them.
Yeah, just kicking
ass.
everyone's butt.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
Yeah, just establishing that, like, at this point, Qatar is actually, like, a very powerful, competent waterbender and not just, like, you know, somebody that's fucking around and throwing out water whips because she's just trying to do her best. She is now a threat, like, in a way that she wasn't before.
I mean, no one else could touch her.
Right.
He was like, does anyone want a rematch?
And they
they're
were
all like,
you saw all these, like, fuckboys with their, like, hair put up in frozen little icicles. You can see that Qatar's beating everyone's ass twice. And Aang was like, I'm just fucking around. I don't actually want to do this. Because we all know that, like, Qatar would have beaten Aang's ass too.
Master Katara.
Master Paku said, you've shown that with fierce determination, passion, and hard work, you can do anything. And he was like, what? Like,
raw talent
alone isn't enough.
And then Aang, like, fucking around with clown music.
Yeah.
Turns into a snowman.
Yeah, but it establishes that time has passed and that Katara has excelled dramatically.
You know, it's a vague amount of time, but long enough for Katara to actually be a waterbending master, right? Yeah.
Then we get some Sokka and Yue scenes. And honestly, the most I have to say about that is I think it establishes Yue's sense of duty, which I think we'll come back to. And also I really like the part where Sokka's like, come see Appa. And she's like, so how does this work? And he goes, yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I hated that part. Made me angry.
I liked
She
it a
was
lot.
so, you could tell Yue was so into it. Like Sokka was like, Sokka took straight from the Aladdin playbook. He knew exactly how to do it.
Show her the world.
Show her the world.
Absolutely.
The ladies love flying. Just take them flying. That's all it is.
Gotta go flying.
Yeah, just gotta go
Bitches
flying.
love flying.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, I keep, every time I come back to the UA thing, I'm just like, it's such a weird amount of time that's passed and for them to do these things, because she like fell in love with him in like 24 hours and then some longer amount of time has passed and they're still hanging out. She still loves him but like they've already established that like she's engaged. Also, Sokka has never met the other dude until
Han.
Sure, yeah, that's his name, I guess. Until like here, it's fine. It's just a little weird. It's okay. I have thoughts, but like
Hand wavy timeline.
I mean, like I appreciate the like not saying exactly how much time has passed, but just showing that it did. That's fine for me.
It makes it easier. Like you still notice the
good
things
enough.
that are out of place, but it makes it easier to be like,
Yeah, sure, works. Yeah.
I do wish that we had more time with Yue though.
Yeah. I was saying that like and it feels kind of terrible, honestly. I was saying that like I would have preferred for the episode before to be focused on like fleshing out Yue more instead of it being the like feminist plot. But at the same time, we love the waterbending master. Obviously, they did something very good with it because it is one of the best episodes.
Yeah.
But it's, we could have gotten some more. First of all, we could have had her talking about the whole thing about her being a baby and nearly dying just before she dies again. Right? We could have gotten more about like the waterbending customs and her sense of duty to her people.
yeah. It's like there's lots of little things that are thrown into this episode of like, differences between the Northern and Southern Water Tribe, which I think it would have been cool to see more of. Or like, when Han is like, you understand nothing of the politics of our people. Neither do I. Could have spent an episode on that.
Okay.
Like, what would Yue's role be if she did become the leader? Like, what is up?
I would like to rewind to Han going, you understand nothing of the political intricacies of our people. This fuckboy who's like, yeah, she's great and all. Like, she's nice.
Perks.
But the perks. Okay? She doesn't have, like, titties, She's just alright. But, you know what I do get? I get them points.
First of all.
What's up?
She
could have them titties.
Okay,
She's always
listen.
She's got a really large
Okay.
sweater, big coat.
You're not wrong, but it doesn't matter how big they are. He's going to say she doesn't.
Oh, that's true.
You're right about that.
But they reach a point where then he goes, they're too big.
They're too big.
It's just intimidating.
But that's okay. I got the perks.
Oh my god.
I get to go drinking with the guys.
So Han is our favorite character.
Oh yeah, he's the best.
Clearly.
He's so good.
It's a shame that he survives being thrown off that boat.
Too bad.
I mean, I don't remember seeing him after that.
Pretty sure
I believe you.
he's there.
I believe you. I just don't remember it.
That's because he's not memorable. He's just annoying and not even in an interesting way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, this show could have had an entire, 20 to 30 more episodes. We could have had 30 episode seasons.
Yeah.
Easily. They barely would have had to add anything that felt fillery. Mm-hmm. On one hand, I really appreciate having a really tight plot and not messing around too much. But especially, we could have done half the season in the Northern Water Tribe.
That's true, we could have.
I would have loved to
that
see
would've been
Yue and Katara's friendship. There were a few moments where they were, together and they were in sync and they were, staring. Oh, God, who were they staring down?
Aang, I think.
Probably Aang.
No, Momo. When he sticks his hand in the spirit pool.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he's about to try and eat one of them fish.
Mm-hmm.
And they both just, give him a look, and they look the same.
Yes.
And it's you could be, sisters.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, not bad, though. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We also could have gotten rid of, not to hurt anyone, the Great Divide. And then had the Waterbending Master.
The Great Divide, my favorite episode. How could you do that? How could you do that to me, Emmy?
I know.
But still, all the Yue stuff was good. I love Yue as a character. I like the entire concept, and I like how they tied her into the Twee and Law thing. Mm-hmm. Just one of those I wish we had more time with it things. Mm-hmm. Not a big deal.
Yeah, it's a little borderline fridgy.
Yes.
Because
Right. Explain.
Okay, for
fridging.
anyone who is unfamiliar with the concept of fridging, it comes from some comic
Comics.
book.
Yeah. I think it was
where
Green Lantern. I'm not certain.
Okay. Yes, Chewie?
He doesn't like fridging.
Me neither.
It upsets him.
Chewie, a feminist icon. Anyway, it derives its name from a comic book where the superhero starts, dating someone, and his girlfriend basically exists to be his girlfriend for a little while, and then she gets murdered, and he finds her body in the fridge, and that, motivates him to go, save the world.
Yep.
Or whatever. And so fridging refers to, in general, when there is a usually female character, usually romantic interest, almost always both of those things, who doesn't have much of a character and just exists in order to die to motivate a male main character. And I think Yue has more of a character than that, but it is so rushed that most of what we see of her is she's here, that will they, won't they, low relationship drama, boom, I'm the moon.
Boom, I'm the moon.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Bada bing, bada boom. I'm the moon.
Now I'm the moon.
Yeah, I mean, it's on the other hand, Sokka doesn't get really motivated to do much anyway, so it's not that.
Yeah,
it's not quite the same.
I think that does help where it, he's sad about it, for sure, but, she serves much more of, a narrative purpose, I feel
a real narrative
than,
purpose.
For any other individual character.
Honestly,
You know?
her sacrifice probably saved the world, because the Ocean Spirit would not have stopped with the Fire Nation Navy after the death of the moon. So,
Anyways,
other
Fire Nation attack.
Fire Nation attack. And then the Fire Nation
My
attacked.
first note on that, well, actually, I think it's really cool that they included Sokka being the first one
To volunteer?
recognize.
Oh,
No, sorry, I'm talking way earlier when he sees the soot.
Yeah.
And he's like, I've seen this before, soot mixed with snow, this is what happened to my people. I was ouch. And then we see Zhao, and my only note there is Zhao sucks, but dope cape.
Right?
He's
it
a
was
really
so
cool
cool. I mean,
He's burned later by Zuko, and I said, rip the cape.
it's
Moment of silence for the cape.
Yeah, Zhao has impeccable Disney villain energy.
Yes.
He's got the style, he's got the assholeness, right? And all he needs
sideburns.
all he needs is one good musical number, and that's it. that's it. He'll fit in right alongside Scar and Ursula and Maleficent. Like, it's fine. Like, Maleficent doesn't need a musical number. She's just who she is. Zhao's not there yet, so he does need a musical number. But still.
Yeah, he's a little too generic
right,
still.
Right? Just one musical number, and he's there. Because he is, oh, man.
Cruel for no reason.
Love hating him. He's such a terrible, terrible person, and it's so fun to be like, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Fire Nation attack is great. This is the first time we see like the actual scale of the Fire Nation military.
Yes.
When they bring out just a fleet of ships from here to the horizon, and Aang's like, I'm gonna fight them. I do want to talk about that moment with Aang though, but like you can see now that like this is the military that took over the world. This is the reason why like we don't see the seas like controlled by the Water Tribe, because we have these giant fleets of metal ships that take 4 canoes of water benders to like stop one of, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's overwhelming, and it was very impressive and very like really cool to see. Also horrifying.
Really quickly, one thing that I noticed when the fight first started is that the first fireball. The first fireball lands directly onto the moon insignia on like the outer wall in the gates, and I thought that was intentional, poignant.
The Fire Nation Navy said, "Who's our most accurate shooter? You're
gonna be right.
You are point man, and we just need you to take one shot, hit their little insignia. You can come back and fall back after that, but we need you to make the first shot count. Can you do it?" Yes, sir.
It's both just like generally emotional as like hitting, the heart or the spirit of the Water Tribe, and then, they're about to kill the actual moon.
Some foreshadowing right there.
It's good shit. I mean, it's terrible, but like from a writing perspective, I like it.
Yeah.
I was also thinking up until this point, I think that moment, if you're ready to get into it, where like Aang sees the fleet, like up until this point, most of the Fire Nation attacks that we've seen has been like Zuko and his one ship,
right?
Or like we were saying in the Northern Air Temple, like
that. Yeah, I think until then, Northern Air Temple was the biggest one he's had to deal with,
which still wasn't a lot of people.
No,
and so it's like he goes to that one ship, he's taking out dudes, he goes up in the air, and then it's just like. As far as the eye can see, Fire Nation ships. Right.
And like this is a big thing for Aang, because when the Fire Nation was attacking, he was like, I wasn't there last time. I'm gonna make a difference. And you can really feel that. Like, that's big. Yeah. It's important, and everyone can acknowledge how that feels. But he also doesn't quite understand the scale of the thing he's dealing with yet. He's like, I can take it on by myself at first. And he jumps in and he does a good job. He takes out dozens of ships, apparently. But that's not enough. That is a small dent in an actual military machine. Him by himself is not enough.
It's interesting that Yue is the one who, when Aang is getting discouraged and he's like, I can't do this, I'm just one kid. She's like, well, you have to.
Right.
Which is just... Every little line and moment with her shows so much of her character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is part of why she's so good, despite having, 15 minutes of screen time in the whole show.
Yeah, Yue's very good. Just this idea that, I know you say you can't. I know that it's hard, but, you don't have a choice. Nobody here has a choice anymore. This is actually do or die. Yeah, and just it's interesting to me that I don't think I heard anybody mention the Avatar state at all. That entire finale. Even though that's kind of the first thing you jump to. You're like, okay, well, you should probably enter the Avatar state and wipe out a few people, right?
I mean, I don't know. I think some of that just comes from us having watched the series.
Okay.
Because I don't think
he's done it once.
Yeah,
right?
He's kind of just hovered in it for the most part.
Right, and it's usually been really stressful situations they couldn't control or whatever. Yeah.
This is the first time the Avatar state in any way really comes out. I mean, it's questionable whether that's really Avatar state.
I don't think it was the Avatar state.
Okay.
I think that was explicitly not the Avatar state. I don't think it actually happened this time.
Okay. His eyes were glowing.
His eyes glowed for sure, yeah.
Well, it's interesting because I was going to say, oh, this was just like spirit possession.
That's
but
what
that's
I
actually sort of what the Avatar state is, because he's being possessed by all the spirits of the past Avatars. But in this case, it was just a different spirit.
Yeah.
So I think we can say definitely wasn't the Avatar state, but it makes sense to represent it in the same way with the glowing, I feel like.
Yeah.
Agreed. That was my thinking. Like, a different ghost made him his meat puppet.
But yes,
thank you.
correct.
Write that down.
Write what down? Meat puppet bleh?
Yes. Yeah, no. But we also saw Aang being like, we need to turn to the spirits. We need to see if they can provide us some wisdom or guidance.
Right.
Or a giant spirit attack. No, guidance is good.
Okay. No, those dos. Although it was mostly the second one.
Mainly the second one. We do like guidance, but honestly, just like a lot of raw power, I can use that. I can really use that.
I mean, he got one piece of crucial information that they would have found out real soon anyway. Like, I wouldn't exactly call that wisdom or guidance. Cole was just like, that fish about to die.
Yeah, no. So we get into...
Just so you know.
Yeah, and goes into the spirit world. We got Ko being just the creepiest thing, but also really... I love Ko as a character. Fascinating, creepy as fuck, really cool. I don't know. Just like a giant centipede creature thing that honestly doesn't seem to have any like true malice towards Aang. Because he is offering like his advice and help and shit, but he also really wants that face. I would like the face that you have right there, and if you can avoid like me taking it, fine. I'm gonna keep trying, and like I'll help you out. Besides that, right? Like,
It was an interesting game of mental chess that, like, Aang in particular was sort of playing because, Ko is out here like, oh, I recognize you, Avatar. And Aang was like, well, what did I do or whatever?
Yeah.
And it's like, I think learning to sort of play by whatever Ko's, not rules so much, but just, like, trying to maintain that state of, like, stalemate almost.
yeah, like he's got to be very even with his temperament generally, and like the entire time Aang is very clearly trying to show his deference and respect for Ko as an ancient spirit, but he's also like, this thing can ruin everything.
Yeah,
I got to be careful. And then we've got that one moment that scared the hell out of me the first time I saw it too, when Aang was like, the koi fish, and he like had that huge shit-eating grin, but like Ko was doing the Disney villain thing and had his back turned at the time. So it was fine. We're good. Don't worry about it. Loved that.
I mean, I think Ko was probably purposefully trying to like lure him into a false sense of security to catch him.
okay.
Right, and that's what all the like jump scares and the creepy,
True.
creepy shit was about.
Yeah, that baboon face or whatever sort of monkey.
Monkey thing, yeah.
Ooh, when I was a kid.
Like a mandrill.
Yeah,
Maybe, yeah.
some monkey thing that was right outside Ko's lair.
Yeah.
Jesus. And then there was that one.
face.
This isn't really worth talking about. There was just that one asshole monkey that served no purpose except to be obnoxious.
Go away. Okay.
There's a bright thing over there. Go chase it, and Aang actually does.
And then
That's who he is. Hey, bye.
Hey, bye.
Hey, bye.
Like, brings him back. And then he's like, good riddance, and hey, bye's like, you better shut your mouth. It's like, what was the point?
Yeah. No, I loved looking
They
at
were
the spirit world.
really looking for some comic relief in a very serious set of episodes.
That's true.
Very
Yeah.
true.
Which fair. And like everything Sokka was doing, it would not have been appropriate to give him much comic relief. Although there was that one scene where they like really quickly zoomed in on his face that was not supposed to be funny but had us cracking up. I think this is a side note, but like very indicative of the change in like humor in our culture, because I feel like so much of like Vine and the internet and stuff has changed.
The quick
like,
zoom.
A quick zoom is something we use for humor all the time now,
Yeah.
but that was not like the language of cinema in 2005.
Absolutely.
Anyway, sorry, I just had to like...
Wait, what was the scene again?
It was, Yue is like, we can't hang out at all anymore. I'm engaged to be married. And he was like, but you don't love him. She's like, I love my people. And he said, you're not marrying them. Mm-hmm. And she basically was like, I can't do this, and walks off. And then he turns and we zoom on his face and he's got this big pout and like should be probably an emotionally poignant moment, but was absolutely hilarious. We all laughed.
Excellent. Yeah.
Good shit. Let's see. Talked about Ko. Do we want to talk about Tui and La anymore?
Just that it was really interesting. Like I said, I've watched this show a couple times. One was as a kid. One was a couple years ago when we rewatched it with the group.
Uh-huh.
And this, I think, was the first time this episode really made me cry. And so much of it was like, I was really watching Tui and La because I feel like that plot, because it is so quick, has always kind of confused me. And I was like, I really want to like
figure out what's going on.
Get into that this time. Mm-hmm. And just like the way that they animated La's reaction when like Zhao yanks Tui out of the water. Mm-hmm. And then like after, you know, he burns like all of that, I was just like, oh my god, they're meant to be together.
It's a sad little fish.
It's the balance.
It's a sad fish.
God. And then just like, you know, La's sort of warpath of vengeance of like, it just felt really poignant to me in a way that I don't think it ever really has. I'm just kind of like, big angry fish.
They put a lot of personality into a character that has literally no speaking lines.
Mm-hmm. Or even really like a face.
No, not really, no.
A fish face, but like...
barely.
Yeah.
You really just see it from the top.
Oh, but we should also point out, well, I don't know. Is this the first time, have we heard anything about the waterbenders getting their power from the moon before this episode?
I don't think so, because Katara even has a line where she's like, I've noticed my power is stronger at night or whatever, or in the full moon or whatever she says.
I thought that was
she
interesting.
says at night.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting where we're like establishing that like the you know, the nighttime, the time of day, the spirits, the whatever the fuck is actually affecting our bending and our ability to bend and things like that.
You rise with the moon, I rise with the sun.
Hey, go.
I'm sorry. Put that off. We're gonna talk about all that. We should finish talking about Tui and La in the final fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. And then so we said La is the ocean spirit, Tui's the moon spirit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll double check that later because I want to make sure for myself. But
like they always say Tui and La,
yin and
moon
yang.
and ocean,
Okay.
yin and yang. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like in that order.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
And then the mnemonic device that I remember it with is Tui is like twinkle, little star, and then La is like lapping waves.
Yeah. But yeah, so like La finds out, like, you know, La witnesses its life partner's death and decides, yeah, okay, well, everyone's dead then.
Like, I literally gave up my immortality to be here
with you,
with this soulmate of mine, and you just murdered them. So
who's the nearest meat puppet that I can use to take over all of the oceans?
Enough with the meat puppet.
One thing I will say there, though, there is that scene where, you know, La's out there starting to just like rampage, and there's a group of waterbenders on the right that bow, and then a group of firebenders on the left that like brandish spears, and he's like, oh y'all about to die. And he ignores the waterbenders. So it's interesting how like there's definitely still,
no, you've got a
you
point.
know, it's not completely mindless, but it is completely focused on destruction of that force.
Yeah, so maybe you think you think Yue actually made it harder for us to win the war? You think the ocean spirit would have just like...
We should have just let La go. Take the avatar, fuck it up.
Fuck it up. Just like, you think La would have just kept going and only targeted like Fire Nation and just like...
It's funny to think about. I think realistically, they probably would have been done after getting the Navy.
Yeah, I mean, still, the Navy's a lot. Anyway, that was a fun little tangent. No, like, it was intense, it was amazing, it was horrifying, It was really cool.
It was beautiful.
Yes.
The animation in this episode is some of the best shit we see in this entire show. I love when they play with color.
When Zhao takes Twee into the bag and everything goes dark.
red.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Was it
like
red?
an eclipse.
And
Yeah.
then when he burns it,
everything
everything goes gray.
Yeah.
And that, I've never really noticed, I think, that distinction because the red is much quicker. And I was like, that's so cool.
And then in the gray area, there are only a few things that have color.
Yes.
And one of those is Yue's eyes.
Yep.
And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Showing she has the last bit of life left as far as law is concerned. In this world.
That, and then the bending has color.
And the bending
which
has
is
color.
just
Beautiful.
stunning to look at. Love that. Like, what even is there else to say besides, like, it's amazing?
Yeah. And a lot of people died. But Aang didn't do it. We won't talk about that.
Like,
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later.
probably.
I'll bring it up in the spoiler section.
Okay. And of course the music was incredible.
Yes.
The score of the show
And
is
the-
so good.
And the places where there, wasn't really music.
Yes. The quiet
Everything
says as much
so
as the
well
sound.
thought out.
I think one of my favorite moments was when Sokka was volunteering to to
Go on the dangerous
go on the
deadly
Suicide
mission.
Squad, yeah. And the song that played in the background was an instrumental of that one song that Iroh sings, which is
Four Seasons.
Yeah, that one. Winter, spring,
Full-
summer, and fall. 4 seasons for the person that will become the moon, for the love between Sokka and the eventual moon spirit, right? It's really good.
Let's see.
Iroh and Zuko.
Iroh and Zuko.
Yeah, definitely time for the Zuko plot.
Iroh
boy.
Motions.
Oh my gosh. So, other friend of the pod, Jane,
Oh,
messaged us wanting to talk about specifically the moment where Iroh sends Zuko off in the boat.
Yes.
Greg is pulling it up so we can get her exact words.
just Iroh fussing over Zuko before he leaves, and his emotion is just really sad crying emoji. It's touching. It's very
So sweet. It just makes my heart just explode.
it's emblematic of their relationship, right? This is an actual, genuine, loving father-son relationship.
Yes.
It is the father that Zuko never had. And Iroh has
And the son Iroh lost.
yeah. He it's amazing how much faith Iroh puts in Zuko after having lost somebody, right? Usually what you see in this kind of situation is that the parental figure is overprotective and overbearing and just won't let them leave at all ever, period. But Iroh's Iroh literally was like, do you have a plan? And Zuko's like, I don't need a fucking plan. And Iroh's like, be safe.
Yeah.
Wear your hood.
Wear your hood.
Remember your
your
breath
fire
of
breath.
fire.
Which probably saved his life because he definitely had to use it when he was suffering from hypothermia. Yeah, no,
I don't know. They're so soft.
And I just had a
Zuko's
thought.
so soft. I find.
I'm also, okay, so 2 things, because I just had a thought, but the other thing that I wrote down is Iroh essentially was I think of you as my son now, after I lost my son, I think of you as my own. And Zuko was basically I know, Uncle. And I was but in the
You don't have to
softest
say
way,
it.
But I also think about, why did he choose now to say this out loud? And he is helping Zuko on this plot to get the Avatar. And that's what he's been doing the whole time. But if you think about it, this may have been the one potentially that was their best chance at getting it.
Mm-hmm.
And Zuko would have gone back
yeah.
to
Oh, man.
Ozai.
Mm-hmm.
And so how much more connection and influence could Iroh have had after that?
Right.
I literally just had this thought. I don't know, maybe that's looking a little too far.
No, I think
No, I don't think so at
I think this is
all.
a good idea. You have a good point. There are really just two. You can really anticipate 2 outcomes, right? Zuko succeeds, gets the Avatar, takes him to the Fire Lord. This relationship that we've had, this 3-year exile, is over, right? That's not happening anymore. Zuko returns to his
At least
biological father,
permanently changed.
right? Even if even if Zuko doesn't get the exact life that he's wanting and expecting, this thing that we're doing is no longer happening. That's one. The other one is Zuko dies. Like, Zuko fails and probably dies. He's in the middle of a war.
True.
And Iroh, of course, has faith that his son will make it back. He will make it out. And so he'll probably have the Avatar with him. Like, I think that's it. And so Iroh's like, this is an important time. I have to let him know. And then Zuko had another duel with Zhao, who really needs to learn that he can't beat this teenager in a 1v1.
Yeah.
Like, you have so many resources. Just I was going to say hire somebody to kill him, but that's literally what he did.
When he sees him, he goes, "You're alive?"
Yeah, he's like, "You tried having me killed." And he's like, "Yeah," and they basically admitted everything they all knew. Like, "Yeah, I did try to have you killed. Are you the Blue Spirit?" "Yeah, I'm the Blue Spirit." Like, okay then.
Honestly, Zhao's just... Listen, it's his own fucking, like, vanity and hubris and pettiness that dooms him this entire episode. Between, like, he's in such a rush, he can't wait, like, 2 weeks for there to be a new moon instead of a full moon.
Yeah. He's got to actually...
Because like, no, I can't wait until the moon is weak. I'm just going to murder it instead.
Because if he waits 2 weeks, yes, he will have defeated the Water Tribe. But he doesn't become
Zhao the Moon Slayer.
Right.
The Conqueror.
Zhao the Invincible or whatever. Like, you know, he has delusions of grandeur, and he, like, nothing less than being a god will satisfy him. Man. Just, I'm imagining just, like, some weird alternate reality where the Fire Nation, like, super wins, but then Zhao tries to, like, start a civil war against the Fire Lord, because that, you know, that's... Like,
this was always the reason for his demise, was just, like, his big head.
Yeah, and so it's very fitting that, like, his last moment shows who he and Zuko both are. Zuko goes up and says, "Take my hand," and Zhao says, no, he would rather die than do that. From a practical standpoint, there's no way in fucking hell Zuko is going to save him, but that's not really the point, right? Like, the from a character standpoint, it's big. It's important that we see, like, this is who Zhao was from beginning to end. He was never anything more or anything less than just the most powerful petty man that we see besides the Fire Lord.
Yeah.
Zuko.
He's so good. He's doing his best.
I just think that this, and it's interesting because he still has so much to go, but for me it's such like just a moment of like trying to save Zhao. I think that is a huge thing, just speaking to his character. And then when he ultimately comes back and he's like, I'm tired. You know, it's like, okay, this is just, maybe it's just the very beginning, but it still feels like a turning point, you know?
Yeah.
Also, the 2 fights against Katara.
So good.
Yes.
Oh.
Also, his entrance.
He's so like, dramatic.
She says something about Zuko, and then he's like, hey. And she's like, no. And he's like, yes. And then they're like, psh, 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 psh.
Exactly.
It's great.
Their whole relationship.
That's exactly how the episode went. No, it was a really cool fight. Fucking love Katara putting him in a ball of ice.
Oh, sorry.
You're gonna talk about their like actual characters. I'm gonna talk about cool fighty shit. I like the ball of ice that she put him in. Very cool. I like that she like in the he fucking exploded it because he's all I'm sure he could have like calmly opened a hole in there in the front, but he was like, let me blow this shit up from the inside.
He's nothing if not dramatic.
Right.
Drama boy.
Then she like put him in a giant like ice wall thing or whatever the fuck, and he knock that out too. And then part 2, up, down, we're done. I love like you're here for a rematch. It's like it's not gonna be much of a match. And I loved how funny and how fast that fight ended.
It was good.
Anyway.
And
I loved it. He loved it.
I want you to get into your things, but one more thing, just like purely on the bending. No, I just didn't want to. I think it's amazing how evenly matched they were, given what is arguably, like, the relative difference in their amount of time training with, like, someone who is capable of training.
Oh, yeah. Like, Zuko had a royal's education in firebending. And Katara
has had maybe a few months
is
worth.
a determined prodigy.
It's like Paku said. It's honestly all about, like, the determination and putting in the work. And, like, you have that on top of raw skill.
Yeah, like...
And there you go.
Anyways, now we can get into the Zutara content. I just wanted you to be able to focus on that.
Now for your regular scheduled Zutara content.
Zutara. Anyway, fuck.
I rise with the moon, you rise with the sun. Or, you rise with the moon, I rise with the sun.
Amazing. God, it's so cheesy. It's so dumb. It's just so beautiful. And they're so evenly matched.
Yes.
Now.
Yeah.
They're equals. They're just going back and forth at each other.
Tension.
Finally actually going at it. It's so good. It's just such a great climactic moment in their little, like, rivalry that is so fun to watch.
And what are they doing? Fighting over Aang.
What does that add? Nothing.
Nothing at all. It just makes
Your
you
anger.
upset. Just makes you upset. Hell yeah.
You should know better.
Anyway.
But no, their fight was just good.
Yeah.
I like that they saved him, obviously.
Right. I mean,
that's important.
Yeah, no, that's a huge thing from Aang. And we've got...
Sokka, yeah, we can.
Because Sokka is that guy. Sokka is, we need to do what we need to do to win this war. That's a threat. We don't protect threats. But, you know, Aang still is loving and caring, and he is a very peaceful, like, he can't just let people die. It doesn't really matter who it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of his central character traits.
Yes. And I love it when we get to see it in action, right? I like the fact that we, like, emphasize that.
I like how we kind of subtly introduce as a character in Zuko's little monologue. It's really the first significant thing, at least, that we've heard about her.
Quick question. Have we been told the name of that character yet in the series?
Definitely, she's been
Am I gonna have to bleep some stuff out?
My sister.
Sister.
Yeah, I don't think that we ever say her name.
Her name.
Yeah.
Oh, did Zuko not say it in his monologue?
No, he was like, my father said, you know, he's like, you're like my sister. My father says that she was lucky. She was born lucky. He says that I was lucky to be born.
Damn it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I mainly
It's fine, I'll bleep it out.
Yeah, bleep it out. I think it's better that way.
Be like, do bleep.
Yeah, no, I do think that what I'm doing is I'm remembering when I was young and I had just seen the season 1 finale. I was like, who was that? What was her name? Right? Like, yeah. I was like, well, hold on a second. And then, like, you know, you go online, people are like, we saw that person before in that one flashback when Zuko got burned. Right? Like,
yeah, but I love that we get the little monologue to introduce her as a character, specifically in contrast to Zuko. And then Ozai, only his voice.
Only his voice.
We're slowly revealing more, and this time just his voice also just compares her to Zuko.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, your brother's not worth shit.
Your brother's a failure.
And just go, you fucking go do it now.
Fix the problem. Murder your family. Thank you.
I love that was the last shot of the season. Because it's such a cool way to, like, introduce the next season.
Build that hype.
It's just like, oh, we're not done yet. No, I mean, like, that's not a spoiler. Fuck. And if you can, a person with
true.
it's
clear.
Right, like, a person that's watching is like, oh yeah, that person's showing up next season,
Even
clearly.
Zuko, who used up his entire singular brain cell to figure out that those tunnels opened up on the other side. Those, like, water tunnels.
Genius.
Right? That was his one brain cell.
There's a lot of faith in that.
And then it passed out, and he had no more the entire episode. Even Zuko, in that state, could figure out that, like, this unknown character introduced in this way is probably going to be a major villain next season, because we just killed the other one.
We did just kill the major villain.
True.
Yeah. So.
Well.
How are we doing?
52 minutes into recording.
Hell yeah.
It's time for the golden fuck.
Excellent.
And
y'all do that live every time, right? Sure.
Oh, no.
Anyways.
Yeah, we bring in a whole choir just for that moment.
It's beautiful.
Really quickly, for those of you unfamiliar with the show, the Golden Fuck is a segment that we do every episode where we consider the movie ratings where you can only say fuck exactly one time before your rating gets bumped up to R. So to keep it PG-13, what we do is we decide if we could only give one character the chance to say fuck exactly once in this episode, who would we give it to and why? So we're going to nominate some, we're going to argue about it, we're going to vote.
For the finale, we are only doing one for the entire thing, because really it's just a long episode. It's not really 2 episodes, even though they counted it that way. So, one fuck throughout the entire thing. So, I have exactly one. Friend of the pod, Jane, has made some contributions. Emmy, I'm sure you have. Oh, Emmy has one. Jessie?
I have 2.
Jessie has 2 because she wants to show off.
I just like saying fuck.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
You want to read the listener submission?
Yep. So it looks like both of Jane's were from the first half. So nomination 1, when Sokka gets in that like argument or fight with Han, either when Sokka screams, he just screams fuck, or he goes, you're just a jerk without a soul. No fucking offense. That's the first one.
Okay.
And the second one is when Zuko's swimming into the city, the first time he pops out of the ice tunnel. He's laying on the ground.
Good point.
When he uses the like breath of fire thing, he goes, gas, fuck, gas. Right? Like that's really good, honestly. I didn't think about that, but
that one is good.
Yeah, when he's like suffering from hypothermia. Those were Jane's.
Since y'all only have one each, I'm gonna let you go first to like reduce the. I don't want to take it away from you if we overlap.
Yeah.
So when I have multiple, I always want to like go last for that reason.
Sounds good. My own me was at the very end of the entire finale after we did all that shit. Iroh's like, Zuko, I'm really surprised that you're not trying to hunt the Avatar right now. And he like has that weird look like, are you gonna? And then Zuko goes, I'm tired. And I'm just like, that's the perfect time for him to just go, Uncle, I'm fucking tired.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Much in the same vein, I think of several Zuko nominations for the season. Is really early on, that first sort of moment where you see like Iroh sneak off to talk to Zuko and he's in the sort of, random Fire Nation soldier uniform.
Yeah.
He's got the faceplate and he pulls it down. And I think Iroh says, do you have a plan? Or something like that. And he says, I'm working on it. And I just I'm fucking working on it, Uncle.
I'm working on it.
Kind of like, I don't need any fucking calming tea.
Oh yeah, right? We've got a whole series of those
just
going
Zuko
on.
cusses at his uncle.
I don't need any fucking calming tea.
Oh, man.
I'm fucking working on it. I don't have time for your fucking proverbs, Uncle.
I'm fucking tired. Although that one's a much different energy.
Yeah.
But still.
Yeah, I also think
Zuko.
it might work if he just went like, fuck, I'm tired.
That's true. Yeah. That also works.
Cool, so I've got 2.
We didn't get any of Jesse's.
Surprisingly, not to Sokka or Zuko. Either of them. First one...
Katara.
Not Katara either. She doesn't say much this episode.
She doesn't.
She says a lot of, like, calming things. Okay, so first one, pretty early. I think that when Aang sees the entire fleet of the Fire Navy ships, he comes back and he, like, lands, and he just goes, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the second one is when Momo jumps on Zhao's head. And Zhao could let out a final fuck.
I like that.
And
yeah.
you get that, and then you get the doop 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 doop. I love Momo's music so much. It's an absolute jam.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, so we've got a few.
Yeah, several.
Are there
Several
any?
unique ones.
Are there any that we want to cut out?
I want to cut out Aang.
Okay.
I liked
agree.
it, but I don't like giving Aang serious fucks. We've discussed this, but I wanted to say it.
I liked Jane's Zuko swimming fuck more than Jane's Sokka fighting fuck.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take out the Sokka fighting one and leave the Zuko swimming one in.
Okay.
I liked mine. Do I like mine better than Jane's? No, I like Jane's. I like the swimming one a lot. That's just me. So as far as I'm concerned, because I had both Jane's and mine, I'm disqualifying my own. I'm keeping one of Jane's. The one that I'm keeping of Jane's is the one where Zuko finishes swimming and he's like coughing up fireballs, using his breath of fire, and he says "fuck" in there because I think that's the perfect time to say that. So yeah, that's that. I don't know what other nominees we have.
I'm fucking working on it, Uncle. Which feels very, like, true to genre, but maybe for these episodes is not particularly, like, the moment, you know?
Yeah.
Especially because there's so much else going on. I feel like I lean maybe towards Jane's or yours.
What was yours again?
When Momo jumps on Zhao's head.
Ah.
So I kind of want to put up a poll.
Okay.
I think we have 3 very good options.
Okay.
Yeah, so we will put up a poll on our Twitter for the finale Golden Fuck.
Hell yeah.
That is @SpoilersAreGood. Please give us a follow if you would like, if you have a Twitter. If you don't have a Twitter and want to vote in the poll, you can always send us an email. And that is spoilersaregoodpodcast@gmail.com. Before we get into the spoiler section, because this is our last episode of the season, I just want to thank everyone for listening. In case anyone is dropping off, before spoilers in this last episode. We just hit 300 downloads of the podcast in total, which is super exciting, and that is way more than we expected to get when we first started this little thing.
I don't like my own voice that much. I'm impressed. Thanks, guys.
And
it's very
we're so excited to be doing this, and we're excited to come back for season 2. We did mention last episode that we're probably going to have kind of a special interim episode talking about spoilers in general and not focused on Avatar before we come back in 2 weeks with the beginning of season 2.
Yep.
So, if you don't like spoilers and you're going to head out and you're not going to join us for our mid-season special, thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next season.
All right. Now we can talk about all the shit.
Now I can say spoilers.
Yep.
So the spoiler thing that I was going to say before, and I stopped myself, was we were talking about Iroh sending Zuko off into the cold.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought of Leaves from the Vine.
Oh.
I thought of Brave Soldier Boy. Come marching home.
Tales of Ba Sing Se is my favorite episode of all of Avatar. It's so good because it has all these great character moments. Mm-hmm. And it really, it just emphasizes the kind of person that Iroh is. We already knew it. Mm-hmm. But, I don't know. There's something about seeing him doing that kind of thing as a, regular, everyday guy. I don't know. Just, he shows how much he cares every day, all the time, and of course we're gonna like see glimpses of that all the way back to season 1, all the way here.
Yep.
Just because that's just who he is.
From the vine, falling so slow, like fragile tiny shells drifting in the foam. Little soldier boy, come marching home. Brave soldier boy comes marching home.
On the topic of Iroh, they did throw in just some little bits of lore, just kind of casually.
Oh, yeah.
Threw out some real big pieces of information. Like,
I've heard rumor of your journeys to the spirit world. The what? The who? When?
I'm sorry?
Where, why, how?
Yeah. God, and I do wish they'd like actually gone over that in the actual show. But Hello Future Me, we've already talked about this.
Yep. It's more fun in I think our fanon anyway.
That's true.
Seeing as everything else that they have done post Avatar is not great. Wait, can I take a pause for a second?
Go for it.
To plug a couple of zines that I am already actually in. Mm-hmm. They're both Avatar related. The first zine that I am participating in is called Not Alone, and it's part 2 of the Kuvira zine. Kuvira is a character from Korra. She's fun. I love her. She is mean and sexy and would step on me. And I've got a couple of pieces coming up in that, and the pre-orders will open very soon. Hold on. The pre-orders for the Kuvira zine will be opening on August 16th. So that should be 2 weeks after you hear this episode, if you're listening to it on the day that it releases.
As you should.
Or,
I don't know. I don't really.
Maybe for you it's today.
I don't
Maybe you're
actually-
listening to this on August 16th, in which case,
Shame on you.
go right now.
Hurry! Oh God!
The pre-orders will only be open for a month.
There's no time.
I am sorry if you're listening to this in the future. Too bad. You missed it. It's going to be a real good zine.
And again, shame on you.
Yeah, you can find it on my Twitter. I don't know.
We said at the same time. That was
Horrible. Not shame on anyone who's listening to this far in the future. That just means that they came across our podcast and decided to listen to it even though it was old.
But they're not day ones, and therefore they are nothing.
I appreciate you. Unlike some people.
Emmy.
To the future me, probably re-listening to this for like the 3rd time. You're doing great.
Hey,
You're
what's
doing
up?
great.
Hey.
Hey,
Hi,
what's
Major
up?
Remy. How you doing?
Sorry.
The second zine is called From the Ashes, and it is a zine themed around Fire Nation's recovery after the war. That one is still fully in the production process, and I will update you guys when the pre-order date for that comes out. But you can find them both through my Twitter. You can go to @SpoilersAreGood. There will be some information there. Or I am @SunburgGirl on Twitter, where I post like my art and stuff.
Yeah.
If you wanted to follow.
It's all right.
Thank you for putting up with that brief detour. We can go back to talking about spoilers. Related to Iroh and the Spirits, we saw Zhao in Wan Shitong's fucking underground library.
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
Yeah.
Is
we
it for
did.
sure Wan Shi Tong's library? Okay.
Yes.
Because I was like,
It's pretty much confirmed. Yeah.
okay.
No, because Wan Shi-tong himself is like, you're like the Fire Nation guy who was trying to like
True.
find his whatchamacallit, like
Yeah, they
beat his
pull that
enemy.
back.
Yeah, and of course, all of the Fire Nation stuff, all of the material in the Fire Nations is burned because Zhao's the kind of fuckboy who would be like, yeah, these books are good, but those books are not useful, and so we're gonna burn those books, right? Like,
Well, I mean, I think it's more to prevent people from learning.
that's
about
what I
them.
meant. Like
Okay.
those books are bad. If somebody reads those books, they'll learn, like how to beat me, and therefore those books are bad. So I'm gonna burn those books. Like he's that
Yeah.
kind of fuckboy.
Extremely petty.
Yeah. I mean, not that isn't smart though.
It
if
worked.
If he found the library and learned some secrets about one of the other, cultures, I guess.
Yeah, then I guess some other people
then
could
somebody could do the same to him. So
I mean, it's
I'll give him a little bit of credit.
pretty classic, like, military dictatorship strategy.
Yeah. So I saw a Reddit post that basically was asking, hey, if the Fire Nation, like, as a whole, knew that Zhao's plan was to, like, murder the, like, ocean spirit, would they have gone through with it? Would somebody have stopped him? And I think the general consensus that I saw was that they wouldn't. That, like, the Fire Nation would not have approved of Zhao going to the, like, North Pole and murdering the moon spirit. And I disagree. I think that we have... I personally think that from all of our, like, interactions or, like, reactions to any firebenders that were not good guys, they all seem to be pretty much on the same page as far as we are taking over the world. We are going to fuck shit up. The people from the Fire Nation that would have disagreed with Zhao are all good guys. That would be Zuko, Iroh, Zhang. Like, that's it.
End of list.
That's the list. That's the list.
And
like,
I think the only opposition we see within the episode itself is from Iroh saying... He even says, I'm no traitor, which we'll get to, but he says, I'm no traitor. We'll talk about it. But I'm no traitor, but, like, we need the moon too. It's about balance.
Yeah.
And I honestly don't think anybody else, certainly not if we're saying, let's say, Ozai and his advisors.
Right.
Because who else has any ability to say anything about this? Like, I don't think any one of them would not believe that, like, they can conquer the moon too. They don't fucking need it. They'll figure it out.
Right. Also, basically, he has, like, Ozai's, like, approval just by virtue of having the position that he has, by virtue of having the resources that he has, by virtue of having the soldiers that he has. Like, Ozai obviously agrees to a certain degree with what
Yeah, there's no way he,
Zhao's
like, kept
doing.
it secret.
Right.
I mean, he may have said, I'm attacking the Northern Water Tribe and not, I'm gonna go in there and kill the moon spirit, but, like...
Well, yeah, I mean, like, what I was saying is that,
He kind of has free reign.
yeah, like, Ozai trusts Zhao and Zhao's judgment and Zhao's worldview already. So I don't think it's that big of a jump for Zhao to be like, hey, yo, Ozai, we don't like the spirits, right? And Ozai's like, well, is the spirit going to help us kill? And they're like, no, it's not. It's going to help the water.
Ozai probably would have been like, kill them both.
Yeah, kill
Get
them
rid of the ocean, too.
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously Zhao would have killed both if he had the chance.
Yeah.
But then Iroh scared the fuck out of him.
Yeah, I mean, Emmy brought up my main point, which is just, to me, it depends on who we mean when we say the Fire Nation. Obviously, the people in charge are fucking insane and are willing to destroy the world, like, to have the most power, right? So Ozai and the council and the military, like, higher ups,
But I think,
almost certainly all would have gone with it, and they would have been like, yes, this is great. And then I think the more interesting discussion, where it's, like, more of a question, is with, like, the population of the Fire Nation.
Yeah, but-
I know what you're going to say.
Okay, go for it.
Nationalism's a bitch. We live in America.
Yeah.
We know how this works.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know. It's much...
Like,
I mean, I
more
think
of a
there
question.
absolutely could have been a conversation, like, in someone's home of, like, did you hear that they ordered a drone strike on the moon spirit? Can you believe? What the fuck? But, like, I don't know.
ordered a drone strike on the moon spirit.
But I don't know that anybody is necessarily going to be, like, starting a revolution about it.
Just-
you know what I mean? But
like,
I think privately... There would probably, like, if people knew about it before it happened, or learned about it after the fact, you know, in a world where, like, anyone was still alive after that.
Even the glimpses of the population that we do see, though, seem to generally agree. Like, we saw Aang went to school, right? And they were being taught, this
Very
whitewashed,
indoctrinated.
right? Like this whitewashed education where they say the fucking Pledge of Allegiance, and then they're told that the Fire Nation was attacked by the air nomads, right? Like they're already being indoctrinated. The Fire Sages themselves literally attacked the Avatar, the most spiritual people that you can imagine in the Fire Nation attacked the Avatar.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I think that's... As a side note, I just think it's questionable that they were actually like fucking spiritual. They're more like political pawns at this point, but
then who is spiritual at that point?
Iroh.
people,
Cool.
they just don't get to have the religious power because they disagree with the government.
Okay,
But
fair enough. All of that was just to say, like, I disagreed with with whatever Reddit people I saw. There weren't. It wasn't. I don't even think it was a huge post, and I don't even sit on the Last Airbender subreddit that often. I just happened to stop by and noticed it. Yeah, that was that. That was a cool thought that I had, and I thought I wanted to bring that up here because it happens to be the episode where the thing is happening.
yeah, and we do get to see a lot more of just the everyday people of the Fire Nation, and we just see them more humanized more and more throughout the series. They are more just like regular people who are falling victims to fucking extreme amounts of propaganda.
So
Like we saw the puppet show already. We do see him in school.
we see the
fucking
Ember Island players. Hell yeah!
Like, and I mean, that crowd was cheering.
Yeah.
But like, I think your point is also interesting. Like whether people would have a problem, like if they heard about it or like it happened and then they had to live with the consequences. I think it would be much more likely living with the consequences for people to actually maybe like revolt.
Oh yeah, they'd be upset.
Because I
about
think, like we see in modern like societies, a lot of people will heavily disagree with the politicians that they support on certain issues, but be like, I still support this person because overall, like, I think they better represent me. And that is a generous way to put it.
that. Yep.
So, like, I imagine there are people who understand the necessity of, like, the spirits to the function of, like, life on the planet. I was going to say Earth. Whatever. I don't want to go there.
But then other people are like, nuke the moon.
Ozai and Azula.
Ozai and Azula.
Oh, finally, I don't have to bleep it out anymore.
Azula.
How could you Azula that Azula, Jesse?
Oh, dear Lord. I can't believe I'm going to count how many times I have to fucking bleep out the name Azula, and I am sure that I am over half of them.
I said
her
it
so
several
much.
times for sure.
So exciting.
Yeah.
Such
So
a
exciting.
cool introduction, really.
Yes.
I mean,
really
it's
good.
not our first introduction to Ozai, but like, yeah, it is. You know?
Yeah,
Mostly
no.
just heard of him,
They-
and then we saw him in the flashback.
They do a good job of like maintaining the mystery and like making him this larger than life figure throughout by not ever showing who he is until we're well into the series. Like we
We didn't see him until
Three,
season
right?
3.
right, yeah, like we don't see him until season 3.
When
We
he
don't-
becomes, I mean, Azula obviously is still a major
Still a
player, but like when it's now like
In
he's
game.
top villain,
It
you know?
escalates.
Yeah.
We see Zuko a little bit, but then Zhao is actually the villain, and then he's gone, and then it's Azula,
Yeah.
and then hello, Ozai.
Hello, Ozai.
So I really like how they slowly reveal just a little bit more about him every time he comes up. He starts off as just like the theoretical figure, and then you see him in flashbacks, and you've now got this like shadow of his head, and you can hear him saying things. Mark Hamill, our boy.
Amazing.
Good villain.
And then, more and more, you'll just see him becoming more of a player until he's actually just physically there talking.
Yeah.
Right? And it really keeps him this, like, mythical, mystical, mysterious, very powerful figure. And I think that's done really well.
Yeah.
One other thing, I don't know if, like, I will be, like, shunned for bringing up the movie that shall not be named.
Oh, go for it. Yeah.
God, fucking...
The Shyamalan
Joling Colling Rolling Jar. Dollar. Right
All
there.
right,
Trans Lives Matter.
I thought you were
the
talking
film.
about Shyamalan.
I said the film that shall not be named.
Oh, okay,
Which is
got
a
it. Got it,
reference
got
This
it,
is
got
a
it,
Harry
got
Potter
it.
reference.
Wow, I'm dumb. Okay. keep going.
Yeah,
Last
the Last Airbender movie, one of the biggest things that fucking ruins that movie is that immediately you just have some random, average, boring-looking guy
Right.
as Ozai from the beginning.
Yeah, we just
talking
see him.
in like scene 2 to Zhao, and they're just like chilling on the porch, and he's not scary at all.
Do you know what it makes me think of? It makes me think of Chancellor Palpatine. not Emperor Palpatine, where it's like he's just sort of just like a guy, a politician.
Just a dude.
It's like Ozai is constantly in these rooms with like flames. Like Ozai is Emperor Palpatine. He's got lightning hands. He's got a hood on his face. It's creepy. It's scary. It's dramatic. And it's like we can't just have him there being like, yeah. So
What's the update?
Exactly.
Tell me about what's going on.
Walk with me down this hallway with like 2 guards.
No.
and look out the balcony and contemplate life with me.
Is
I ship
Azula
it.
in that movie at all?
No. And
Okay.
I mean, if I was making the film about the first season, I wouldn't.
That's fair.
Yeah.
She's really not in the first season.
Yeah.
And also, they really only go up until like what, the Blue Spirit?
I mean, it's supposed to be the first season. Like it goes all the way until the finale.
You're so right. I've watched this movie within like the past year.
It's okay.
Not
we all
memorable.
block it out of our memories.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah.
Yeah. That's just like a really big flaw in that movie is he's a terrible villain.
Honestly, the only flaw in the movie.
I couldn't say it.
That and how it takes 5 earthbenders to move
One rock.
one rock.
God, I don't know how we're
Amazing.
gonna get through this.
Anyways.
If you want to see us, and by see I mean hear us, if you want to hear us talk about the Last Airbender film in a special episode, at
yes.
the end of the series, so like at the end of season 3, what I'm going to want you to do is go to our iTunes, give us a 5-star rating. I'm sorry, give us your honest rating.
Yeah, don't give us a 5-star.
I'll take your honest opinion. If you hate us, I'll count it.
Yeah, we're good.
If you're like 3 stars, meh, but I want to make them suffer, I'll take it.
I agree.
What number do we want to do? How many iTunes ratings will it take?
How many do you have now?
We currently have
3.
Oh, we have 3.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I mean, like, I was gonna say we have 300 downloads now. Let's what, a third of that, right? Like, is that fine? Or like actual 300?
I was gonna say like 25.
25, 300 reviews.
Yeah. So if we get 25 reviews in all 3 seasons of this show, we will do a special episode where we have to fucking watch this movie.
Yo,
if we get 100 reviews, we have to do it sober.
Damn. Fuck, she got me. God damn.
I knew exactly where you were going. We share a brain.
Okay. Cool.
1 year of marriage.
Amazing.
Happy anniversary.
Good. Great. I'm glad I have sucked us into that now.
Yeah. So, I mean, and so, you know, the bigger reveal here was Azula, right? Like, Ozai, yeah, he's talking, but we are here for Azula.
We really are.
And
We love bad bitches who will step on me.
Yes. On Jessie specifically. I love... Does she actually speak? Does she say yes, father?
yeah,
Okay, but that's like it.
I think that's
And
it.
I feel like, although I have seen the show before, I still feel like we get so much of her essence. I mean, so much of it is her facial expressions.
Yeah.
But just like that and the yes, father, but the fact that it's not just like, yes, father, I'm doing it because you asked, but yes, father, because we are the same and I will relish this. Like, ooh,
Yeah.
so good. Right away,
Right.
you're like, ooh.
Right, like,
ooh.
you know, there's one energy where it's like the execution's like, I'm sorry, I gotta do this. And the other execution is like, I'm about to do
I'm
this.
sorry I can't do this twice.
Right? Like, one guy's like, man, Mondays. And the other guy's like, I love my job. Azula
Nobody
loves
says
her
that.
job.
Great. The last major note that I have in our spoiler section is to talk more about Ko.
Ko the Face Stealer.
Yeah.
Anybody that doesn't know, and I feel like a lot of people would know at this point, Avatar Kuruk is the waterbending avatar before Aang. Basically, he lived in peacetime. Like, there wasn't anything major going on. So the guy kind of fucked around and challenged, like, prominent benders to challenges and shit. And he just had a good time. And he didn't really do his duty as the avatar. And Ko was like, I'm gonna take a face. He took the face of Kuruk's wife, fiance, significant other, a person that Kuruk loved deeply. And Kuruk took that personally. He spent the rest of his life hunting down Ko, and as you can see, was not successful. That's Kuruk's legacy. Wait, no. They 100% talk about it in the literal episode when Aang, tries to, like reach out to the other avatars and have one of them tell him that he doesn't have to kill Ozai. That's that's when
true.
that's when we
That's
get this
when we
entire
get it.
story. And so I feel stupid telling everybody this because like you should know this by now. Anyway,
Well, not everyone in the spoiler section has seen the whole series.
that's true.
I have faith that there is a couple of you who are
believe
going on this
spoilers
journey
are good,
with us,
actually.
who are falling. I almost said falling victim. Who are like convinced and enthralled by our manifesto that spoilers are good, actually. And so you're here.
Appreciate it.
So it's good that we explained it for those
Yeah.
two hypothetical people. My other note about Ko was just, I feel like Ko's existence is almost cheapened a little bit by the existence of his like mother
Right.
spirit in the comics. If you haven't read The Search, it's a comic where they go and find Zuko's mom, and basically the backstory is after she ran away, she went to another spirit who is like Ko but better. And by better I mean worse. And it's Ko's mom, who not only steals faces but steals memories. And she's like, "Hey, Mama Ko, can you please give me a new face and take away all my memories so I can hide
Of
here with
my
my ex-boyfriend?" Like all of it.
Yeah.
Everything after she left her hometown. And she doesn't remember that.
I didn't realize. I thought that was Ko.
Mom of the year. No,
Because I'm not
pretty
super
sure it's
familiar
his
with
mother.
comics.
Yeah, I think it's Ko's
That's really
mother.
interesting.
And I think that's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know why it couldn't just be Ko.
Yeah. I also, do y'all know, how did Ko get, like, does he leave the spirit world?
It's not clear. I don't. Well, at
Did
least
Karak's
I don't know.
girlfriend go into the spirit world? Wife,
I'm not
girlfriend,
sure.
fiancé?
Like, I'm not certain, but if I had to guess, probably something northern water tribe like center of spiritual power.
True.
Spending too much time there, you've got the rift between the two worlds. She just happens to like go,
was like,
wow, yeah,
Hey.
yeah. Just
Your
kind of
face
like
is
poke
mine
his head
now.
through and be like, yeah, that's mine now.
Yeah,
I like
we
it.
all know that the world building of the spirit world is intentionally kind of vague and then just kind of ripped to shreds in Korra. So,
Yeah, so
you know, it doesn't make any sense, and that's what the rules are, and
I like
that's
them.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said you
Yeah.
didn't have anything else?
No, I don't have anything else.
Yeah, I think that we have covered all of my notes, too.
Cool. Anything?
No, I think, but just like before you guys do your regular outro, thank you so much for having me. So fun to just have listened to you guys start this and like become podcasters and get to be a little part of it, and also just to be here with y'all. Very fun. So yeah, thank you everyone for listening.
Do you have anything you want to plug? Do you have a podcast of your own, Emmy?
Stay tuned. Get vaccinated. I'm not gonna go that hard, but yeah.
Thank
No,
you.
if you hated anything that I said, feel free to email me at azula.azula@gmail.com.
Oh, no. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us. This was super fun. It was good to have you on this finale episode. It was a really good time.
So that's all we have today for actually all of book 1.
Yep.
Join us next week for a special episode, right?
Yeah.
And then after that, we will start book 2, chapter 1. I actually haven't looked it up, and I'm not gonna say it here.
The Avatar State.
Damn it! Book 2, chapter 1, the Avatar State.
Yep. Until then, please check us out on Twitter at SpoilersAreGood, or leave us a rating on iTunes or your podcast hosting listening site of choice.
Emmy, say the thing.
Until next time, just because it's spoiled doesn't mean it's rotten.
family. Thank you. She's
She's
like,
like, yes,
you
Mom."
got it. You got it.
It's my favorite thing to do. It's a very bad Azula impression. I am so sorry. God damn it! I have to bleed out again.
Hell yeah.
Sorry to get. Oof. Oh, I'm sorry, future Jesse.
Can't believe you just that and then you gotta some more. You're gonna have fun with that one.
People are gonna think that you are saying something truly despicable.
That's the point.